The sleek black Mercedes pulled up to the curb, its polished surface reflecting the morning sunlight. Inside, Sophia Bennett gripped her phone tightly, her manicured nails clicking against the screen as she fired off another email. As the CEO of Bennett Enterprises, one of the fastest-growing tech firms in the country, every minute of her day was accounted for. When the car door opened, she barely looked up. "Good morning, Ms. Bennett. I'm Michael, your temporary driver." Something in his voice, a quiet confidence, perhaps, made her glance up from her phone. The man standing before her wasn't what she expected. Tall with kind eyes creased at the corners, he wore a simple black suit that had seen better days. But it was the way he stood, straight-backed yet somehow carrying an invisible weight, that caught her attention. Little did Sophia know that hiring this unassuming single father as her driver would unravel secrets buried 25 years ago, secrets that would shake the very foundation of everything she'd built. If you're captivated by stories of unexpected connections and life-changing revelations, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heart-touching content that reminds us how intertwined our lives truly are. Sophia Bennett had built her empire from scratch. At 38, she commanded respect in boardrooms where men twice her age scrambled to keep up with her sharp mind and sharper instincts. Bennett Enterprises specialized in innovative healthcare technology that had revolutionized patient care across the country. Today marked the launch of their newest product, a wearable device that could monitor vital signs and detect early warning signs of heart attacks, potentially saving thousands of lives. The press conference was scheduled for 2 p.m., and Sophia had been preparing for weeks. "Take me to the office, please," she said, returning to her email. "I have meetings all morning." "Of course, Ms. Bennett." Michael Stevens navigated the morning traffic with ease. In the rearview mirror, he studied his new employer. He had researched her before accepting the temporary position, a brilliant businesswoman known for her philanthropy as much as her success. Articles described her as cold, calculating, and ruthless in business, but looking at her now, he saw something else: isolation. His own life had taught him to recognize loneliness when he saw it. After losing his wife to cancer 3 years ago, he'd been raising his 14-year-old daughter Emma alone. Once a successful architect at a prestigious firm, he'd scaled back his career to be present for Emma during her most difficult years. When his firm downsized 6 months ago, he found himself unemployed for the first time in his life. The temporary driving position had been a blessing, decent pay and hours that allowed him to be home when Emma returned from school. What he hadn't counted on was being assigned to Sophia Bennett, the woman whose face had haunted his dreams for decades. She didn't recognize him, of course. Why would she? Their paths had crossed 25 years ago under very different circumstances. "Is there a problem?" Sophia asked, catching his gaze in the mirror. "No, ma'am. Just checking traffic." She nodded and returned to her work, unaware that the man driving her car held the missing piece of her life's puzzle. The week progressed smoothly. Michael was the perfect driver, punctual, professional, and most importantly, quiet. Sophia appreciated his discretion, especially during phone calls that required privacy. By Thursday, she had grown accustomed to his presence, even comfortable with his silent support as she moved through her demanding days. That afternoon, as they sat in traffic, her phone rang. The daycare center. Her stomach dropped. "Yes, this is Sophia Bennett." "What do you mean, she's running a fever?" "I'm in the middle of..." "Yes, I understand, but surely you can." "Fine. I'll be there as soon as I can." She ended the call and let out a frustrated sigh. 4-year-old Lily, her adopted daughter, was sick at daycare. Her assistant was out of town, and the nanny was unavailable until evening. "Problem with childcare?" Michael asked, breaking his usual silence. Sophia looked up, surprised. "My daughter is sick. I need to pick her up, but I have a critical investor meeting in 30 minutes that I absolutely cannot miss." Michael hesitated before offering, "I could pick her up for you." You don't even know her. True, but I'm a father myself. I've handled my share of fevers and upset stomachs. I could bring her to your office after your meeting. Sophia studied him through narrowed eyes. The suggestion was inappropriate, sending a virtual stranger to collect her child, yet she found herself considering it. Background checks on all company drivers were thorough, and something about Michael's eyes conveyed trustworthiness. You have children? She asked. A daughter. Emma. She's 14. And her mother? A shadow crossed his face. My wife passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. Sophia's expression softened momentarily. I'm sorry. The silence hung between them, filled with unspoken understanding. Finally, she made a decision. I'll call the daycare center and add you to the authorized pickup list. Please bring her directly to my office afterward. Michael nodded, a small smile playing at his lips. Of course, Ms. Bennett. Little Lily Bennett was a revelation. With dark curls and serious eyes, she reminded Michael of another little girl from long ago. Despite her fever, she regarded him with solemn curiosity when the daycare worker explained that he was Mommy's friend. Are you sick? He asked gently, kneeling to her level. She nodded, clutching a well-loved stuffed elephant. My head hurts. My daughter used to get headaches too. Would you like to know what helped her feel better? Another nod. We would pretend her elephant, or in your case, your elephant, was a doctor with magic powers. Every time he touched her forehead, the pain would get a little smaller. Lily's eyes widened. Really? Really? Should we try? By the time they reached Sophia's office building, Lily was giggling despite her fever, making her elephant, Dr. Ellie, dance across Michael's shoulders from her car seat. When Sophia emerged from her meeting to find them in the waiting area outside her office, she stopped short. Her daughter, normally shy with strangers, was sitting comfortably on Michael's lap, animatedly telling him a story while he listened with genuine interest. For a moment, Sophia felt a pang of something she couldn't name. Jealousy? Regret? The realization that her busy schedule meant missing these small moments? Mommy. Lily spotted her and slid off Michael's lap. This is Mr. Michael. His elephant medicine made my head feel better. Sophia raised an eyebrow at Michael, who shrugged with a smile. Magic elephants. Works every time. That evening, after tucking Lily into bed, Sophia found herself thinking about Michael Stevens. His kindness toward her daughter had touched something within her, a part she thought long buried under years of ambition and self-protection. Opening her laptop, she pulled up his employee file, telling herself it was merely due diligence after allowing him near her daughter. The basics were there: Michael Stevens, 43, widower, 1 daughter. Former architect with Harris and Associates for 15 years before downsizing. Excellent references. Clean background check. Nothing remarkable, yet something nagged at her. His face seemed familiar somehow, though she couldn't place it. Closing the file, she poured herself a glass of wine and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows of her penthouse apartment. The city lights twinkled below, a testament to human connection even in isolation. For the first time in years, Sophia Bennett felt the weight of her solitude. The next morning, Michael arrived to find Sophia waiting, Lily by her side in pajamas. Change of plans, Sophia announced. Lily needs to stay home today, and I have back-to-back meetings I can't reschedule. My assistant is still away, and the nanny can only come this afternoon. She hesitated. Would you be willing to stay here with her until then? I'll pay you double your normal rate, of course. Michael glanced at Lily, who was regarding him hopefully, her elephant tucked under one arm. I'd be happy to, Ms. Bennett. No need for extra compensation. Relief washed over Sophia's face. Thank you. There's food in the kitchen, and her medicine is on the counter with instructions. The nanny should arrive around 2. As she gathered her things, Michael noticed a framed photograph on the entryway table, a younger Sophia standing next to an elderly woman with kind eyes. "Your mother?" he asked. Sophia paused. "My adoptive mother. She took me in when I was 13. She rarely spoke about her past, and the word surprised even her. She looks kind. She was the best person I've ever known. She taught me that family isn't always blood." Sophia touched the frame gently. "She passed away 5 years ago. I'm sorry for your loss." Their eyes met, a moment of genuine connection between them. Then Sophia's phone chimed, breaking the spell. "I have to go. Call me if there's any problem." After she left, Michael turned to find Lily watching him thoughtfully. "Are you hungry, Lily? Should we see what's in the kitchen?" She nodded, slipping her small hand into his. "Can we make pancakes? Mommy never has time for pancakes." Michael smiled down at her. Pancakes it is. By mid-afternoon, when the nanny arrived, Sophia's immaculate apartment bore evidence of their day: blanket fort in the living room, art supplies on the dining table, and the lingering smell of pancakes and chicken soup. Lily's fever had broken, and she was napping peacefully in her room, surrounded by drawings they'd made together. Michael left a note for Sophia detailing Lily's day, when she'd taken her medicine, what she'd eaten, and how her symptoms had improved. At the bottom, he added, "She's a remarkable little girl. You should be proud." For the next 2 weeks, a subtle shift occurred in their professional relationship. Sophia found herself looking forward to her morning commute, gradually sharing more about her work challenges. Michael offered thoughtful insights that revealed his intelligence and perspective. "You were an architect," she said one morning. "Why switch to driving?" Michael kept his eyes on the road. "Life changes. After my wife died, Emma needed me more than my career did. The flexible hours of driving let me be there for her." "You gave up your career for your daughter?" "I rearranged my priorities." "There's a difference." Sophia considered this. Her own mother had worked 2 jobs to provide for her after the adoption, often missing school events but always making sure Sophia knew she was loved. Now Sophia found herself in a similar position with Lily, constantly balancing her responsibilities as a mother with those as a CEO. "Does Emma resent the changes in your lifestyle?" she asked. Michael smiled slightly. "Sometimes. She's 14, resentment is part of the package. But she knows she's my priority, even when things are difficult." "You're a good father." "I try to be." "What about you? How do you balance everything with Lily?" Sophia sighed. "Not as well as I should. The company demands so much, sometimes I feel like I'm failing her. From what I've seen, Lily adores you. Children don't need perfect parents, they need present ones. Even if present sometimes means quality over quantity." His words stayed with her throughout the day, prompting her to leave the office early enough to read Lily a bedtime story, something she realized had become increasingly rare. The following Monday, Michael received an unexpected call from Sophia's assistant. "Ms. Bennett would like you to pick up her daughter from daycare and bring her to the children's hospital. There's been an accident." His heart raced as he drove to the daycare, possibilities spinning through his mind. When he arrived with Sophia's authorization, the staff informed him that Sophia had fallen during a product demonstration and was being treated for a concussion and possible broken arm. Lily was quiet in the car, clutching her elephant. "Is Mommy going to be okay?" she finally asked in a small voice. Michael met her eyes in the rearview mirror. "Your mom is very strong, Lily. The doctors are helping her, and we're going to be there for her too, okay?" At the hospital, they found Sophia sitting on an examination table, her left arm in a temporary cast, looking pale but alert. Her face softened when Lily ran to her. "Careful, sweetheart," she said, using her good arm to hug her daughter. "What happened?" Michael asked. Sophia grimaced. The prototype malfunctioned during the demonstration. I tried to catch myself and landed badly. She glanced at the doctor's notes beside her. Broken wrist, mild concussion. They want me to have someone stay with me tonight for observation. I'll call your assistant. She's in Chicago with our marketing team. Sophia sighed, touching her temple gingerly. The nanny can stay with Lily, but she can't be in two places at once. Michael hesitated. I could stay. On your couch, he added quickly. Just to make sure you're all right. Sophia started to object, then reconsidered. Her head was pounding, and the thought of being alone made her anxiety spike. Are you sure? What about Emma? She's staying at her friend's house tonight. I just need to let her know. After a moment, Sophia nodded. Thank you. That evening, in Sophia's penthouse, Michael moved quietly around the kitchen, preparing tea while she rested on the sofa. Lily had gone to bed after extracting promises from both adults that her mother would be all better by morning. You don't have to do all this, Sophia said, watching him. Michael brought her the tea and some pain medication. It's no trouble. I've had practice taking care of people. She took the mug gratefully. Your wife? He nodded. 2 years of treatment gave me plenty of experience. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Life happens. He sat in the armchair across from her. What about you? You mentioned you were adopted at 13. That's older than most adoptions. Sophia rarely discussed her past, but the concussion and pain medication had lowered her usual defenses. I was in foster care from 8 to 13. Before that, I lived with my biological mother, but she struggled with addiction. When she died of an overdose, I entered the system. Michael's expression remained carefully neutral, though she noticed his hands tighten slightly on his knees. 5 years is a long time to be in foster care, he said. 7 homes in 5 years, she confirmed. Some better than others. Then Margaret Bennett came along, a high school English teacher with no children of her own. She saw something in me that no one else did. Sophia smiled faintly at the memory. She used to say I had fire in my eyes. She nurtured that fire instead of trying to extinguish it like everyone else. She sounds remarkable. She changed my life. Without her, I'd never have gone to college, let alone built Bennett Enterprises. Sophia's eyes grew distant. She's the reason I adopted Lily. I wanted to pass on what Margaret gave me, a chance. Michael was quiet for a long moment. What about your biological father? Was he ever in the picture? The question caught her off guard. No. My mother always said he abandoned us before I was born. I don't even know his name. She gave a small, humorless laugh. For all I know, she made him up. A strange expression crossed Michael's face, gone so quickly Sophia wondered if she'd imagined it. I should let you rest, he said, standing. The doctor said to wake you every few hours to check your pupils. I'll set an alarm. As he turned to go, Sophia called after him. Michael? Thank you. Not just for tonight, but for everything these past weeks. He paused, his back to her. You don't need to thank me, Sophia. It was the first time he'd used her first name. The next morning, Sophia woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of Lily's laughter. Following the noise to the kitchen, she found Michael and her daughter making French toast, flour dusting both their clothes. Mommy! Lily exclaimed. Mr. Michael says breakfast helps broken arms get better. Is that so? Sophia smiled, catching Michael's eye over Lily's head. Then I guess I better eat a lot of breakfast. They ate together at the dining table, an unfamiliar domesticity settling over the scene. Watching Michael patiently help Lily cut her French toast into manageable pieces, Sophia felt an unexpected longing for something she'd never prioritized, a partner, a complete family, someone to share both burdens and joys. After breakfast, while Lily was getting dressed for daycare, Sophia found Michael washing dishes at the sink. "The doctor said you should take it easy for a few days," he said without turning around. "I have meetings. That can be rescheduled." Now he faced her. "Sophia, you have a concussion. Your brain needs rest to heal." The concern in his voice warmed her. "I suppose a day or two wouldn't hurt." "Good." He dried his hands on a kitchen towel. "I should get going. Emma will be home from her friend's house soon." "Of course." Sophia hesitated. Would you both like to join us for dinner sometime? As a thank you." Michael's smile reached his eyes. "We'd like that." The dinner was arranged for the following Friday. Michael arrived with Emma, a tall, serious-looking teenager with her father's kind eyes and her own sense of quiet dignity. Lily immediately took to her, pulling her toward her room to show her toys. As they prepared dinner together, Sophia insisted on helping despite her caste. She found herself studying Michael with new awareness. There was an ease between them now, a comfortable rhythm as they moved around her kitchen. It had been a long time since she'd allowed anyone past her carefully constructed walls, but something about this man made her want to try. Over dinner, Emma gradually warmed up, sharing stories about her school's science fair and her passion for engineering. "She gets the technical mind from me," Michael said proudly, "but her creativity is all her mother's." "Dad," Emma protested, though she smiled. "What was your wife like?" Sophia asked. Michael's expression softened. "Catherine was brilliant, a structural engineer who could solve impossible problems. But more than that, she had this way of seeing beauty in everything." He glanced at Emma. Even during her illness, she found joy in small moments. "She sounds wonderful," Sophia said gently. She was. He cleared his throat. "What about Lily's father? Is he involved?" "There is no father. I adopted Lily as a single parent when she was an infant." Sophia smiled at her daughter, who was demonstrating her stuffed animal collection to Emma. "Best decision I ever made." After dinner, while the girls watched a movie, Sophia and Michael sat on the balcony with glasses of wine. The city lights stretched before them, a tapestry of countless lives intersecting in ways both seen and unseen. "I've been meaning to ask you something," Sophia said. "The day we met, you seemed familiar somehow. Have we met before?" Michael looked at her for a long moment, something unreadable in his expression. "Maybe in another life," he said finally. Before she could press further, Emma appeared at the door. "Dad, it's getting late. We should probably go." As they said their goodbyes, Sophia found herself reluctant to see them leave. "We should do this again," she said. Michael nodded. "We'd like that." That night, after putting Lily to bed, Sophia returned to the balcony, her thoughts circling around Michael Stevens. There was something about him, a connection she couldn't explain. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to wonder if there might be room in her carefully ordered life for something unexpected, something that couldn't be planned or controlled. Something like love. Over the next few weeks, their relationship evolved. Michael remained her driver, but they began spending time together outside work, dinners with the girls, a Saturday at the zoo, an afternoon at the park. Emma and Lily formed their own bond, the teenager delighting in her role as a surrogate big sister. One evening, as they walked through the park while the girls ran ahead, Michael took Sophia's hand. The gesture was simple yet profound, an acknowledgement of the shifting ground between them. "I need to tell you something," he said, his voice serious. Sophia's heart quickened. "What is it?" Before he could continue, his phone rang. Emma was calling from further down the path. "Dad!" Lily fell, "She's crying for Sophia." They hurried to find Lily sitting on the ground, tears streaming down her face, a scraped knee bleeding through her tights. Sophia knelt beside her, murmuring soothing words while Michael produced a first aid kit from his backpack. Always prepared, Sophia noted with a smile. Occupational hazard of parenthood. He cleaned the scrape gently, then applied a bandage decorated with elephants, which brought a watery smile to Lily's face. The moment from earlier was lost, but as they walked back to the car, Lily holding both their hands between them, Sophia felt a sense of rightness that transcended words. The revelation came unexpectedly, 3 months after Michael began working for Sophia. They were at her apartment, the girls having a sleepover in Lily's room while the adults talked on the balcony. Sophia had been sharing stories about her college years, the struggle to be taken seriously as a young woman in business. "I used to carry my adoption papers in my backpack," she admitted. "Whenever I felt like giving up, I'd look at Margaret's signature, the moment someone chose me, and find the strength to continue." "You still have them?" Michael asked. "Of course. Along with my original birth certificate and what little documentation exists from my early life. Margaret believed in preserving history, even painful parts." She smiled wryly. "Though mine is mostly gaps and questions." Michael was quiet for so long that Sophia turned to look at him. His face was troubled, his hands clasped tightly together. "What is it?" she asked. He took a deep breath. "There's something I need to tell you, something I've been trying to find the right moment to say." Concern flashed across her face. "You're quitting?" "No." He met her eyes directly. 25 years ago, I knew a woman named Clara Wilson." The name hit Sophia like a physical blow. Clara Wilson, her biological mother's name, one she hadn't heard spoken aloud in decades. "How do you?" Her voice faltered. "I was 21, just starting architecture school. Clara was 27, beautiful and troubled. We had a brief relationship." His voice grew hoarse. "When she told me she was pregnant, I wanted to do the right thing, but she disappeared. I spent months searching for her, but she'd vanished. Years later, I learned she had died of an overdose, but no one could tell me what happened to our child." The world seemed to tilt beneath Sophia. "What are you saying?" "The moment I saw your photo when applying for this job, I recognized you. You have Clara's smile, but your eyes." His voice broke. "Those are my mother's eyes. I knew immediately you were my daughter." Sophia stood abruptly, backing away. "That's impossible. My father abandoned us before I was born. My mother always said." Clara was an addict even then, Sophia. She struggled with reality sometimes. Michael remained seated, giving her space. "I didn't abandon either of you. She left without a trace. If what you're saying is true, why wait 3 months to tell me? Why pretend to be just my driver?" Anger edged into her voice, masking the shock. "At first, I just wanted to know you were okay, to see what kind of person you'd become. Then, as I got to know you..." He shook his head. "I was afraid of losing the connection we were building. Every day, I planned to tell you, and every day, I found a reason to wait." Sophia's mind raced, piecing together fragments of memories, her mother's inconsistent stories about her father, Michael's interest in her adoption, the strange familiarity she'd felt upon meeting him. "I need you to leave," she said finally, her voice hollow. "Sophia. Now. Please. I need to process this." Michael stood slowly. "I understand. For what it's worth, I'm prouder than I can express of the woman you've become, even though I had no part in it." After he left, Sophia sat motionless on the balcony, tears streaming down her face. The foundation of her identity, orphaned, abandoned, unwanted until Margaret, crumbled beneath this new revelation. If Michael was telling the truth, her entire narrative shifted. She wasn't abandoned. She was lost. The next morning, Sophia called in sick to work, something she'd never done before, and retrieved a small fireproof box from her closet. Inside lay the sparse documentation of her early life, her original birth certificate with Clara Wilson listed as mother and unknown as father, a few photographs of her with Clara, medical records, and her adoption papers. Nothing that could confirm or refute Michael's claim. With trembling fingers, she opened her laptop and searched for Michael Stevens Architect. Articles and project references appeared, confirming his career timeline. In one photo from a professional publication 15 years earlier, he stood proudly beside a modern building he designed. The resemblance was undeniable, the same determined set of the jaw, the same slight crease between the eyebrows when concentrating. Her phone chimed with a text from Emma. "Is Lily still having the sleepover tonight? Dad said I should check with you." The simple message reminded Sophia that more than just her past was at stake. In the months since Michael entered their lives, both girls had formed attachments. Whatever she decided would affect them too. Taking a deep breath, she replied, "Yes, still on. Please tell your father I'd like to speak with him this afternoon. My office, 3 p.m. The response came quickly, "He says he'll be there." Michael arrived precisely at 3 p.m., looking as if he hadn't slept. Sophia had chosen her office for their meeting, neutral ground where she could maintain professional composure. "Thank you for coming," she said formally. "Of course." He remained standing until she gestured toward a chair. "I've been thinking about what you told me," Sophia began, her voice steady. "I have questions. Ask me anything. How can you be certain I'm your daughter? Clara could have been with someone else after you." Michael reached into his jacket and withdrew a folded sheet of paper. "I had a DNA test prepared. If you're willing, it would confirm everything." Sophia stared at the paper but didn't take it. "Why did you really apply for the driver position?" "Truthfully, I'd been looking for you for years, on and off. After Catherine died, the search became more important. I needed to know if I had family beyond Emma. When I saw the job opening with your company, it seemed like fate." He leaned forward. "But I never planned to disrupt your life, Sophia. I just wanted to know you were okay. And now? What do you want now?" His eyes met hers, unwavering. "Whatever you're willing to give. If that's nothing, I'll respect your decision and disappear. If it's just to know each other from a distance, I can do that too." He paused. "But I hope for more. Not to replace the mother who raised you or to claim credit for the incredible woman you've become, but simply to be part of your life, and for you to be part of mine and Emma's." Sophia was silent for a long moment, weighing his words against a lifetime of abandonment issues and hard-won independence. "The girls have a sleepover tonight," she said finally. "Come to dinner after we drop them off. We'll talk more." Relief washed over his face. "Thank you." The DNA test confirmed what Sophia already knew in her heart. Michael Stevens was her biological father. The science was irrefutable, but the emotional reality took longer to process. Over the following months, they built a new relationship, not trying to reclaim lost years but creating something unique to their circumstances. Michael shared stories about his family, showing Sophia photographs of grandparents she'd never known, giving her pieces of a heritage she'd thought forever lost. For Lily, the addition of Michael and Emma to their lives brought joy and stability. The little girl blossomed with the expanded family, her world growing richer with each shared experience. One evening, 6 months after Michael's revelation, they sat together on Sophia's balcony while the girls watched a movie inside. "I have something for you," Michael said, handing her a small box. Inside lay a delicate silver bracelet with a single charm, a tiny architectural compass. "My mother gave me her father's compass when I decided to become an architect," he explained. "She said it would help me find my way no matter how lost I became. I've kept it all these years." His voice softened. "I had this made for you because, even when I couldn't find you, you found your own way, built your own path with more courage than I can imagine." Tears welled in Sophia's eyes as he fastened the bracelet around her wrist. "Thank you," she whispered, the simple words carrying the weight of forgiveness and acceptance. Michael covered her hand with his. "I know I missed your childhood, your adolescence, all the moments a father should witness. I can never get those back. But I promise you this, Sophia, I will be here for every moment to come, for as long as you'll have me in your life." She turned her hand to clasp his. "I spent so many years wondering why I wasn't enough, why my father didn't want me. Building Bennett Enterprises was partly to prove my worth, to create something so significant no one could overlook me again." "You never needed to prove your worth," Michael said gently. "Not to me, not to anyone. I know that now." She looked toward the living room, where Emma and Lily sat together, the teenager patiently braiding the younger girl's hair. "What happens next for us?" Michael's eyes crinkled with a smile. "That's entirely up to you. We can take it one day at a time." Sophia nodded, a sense of peace settling over her. For years, she'd driven herself relentlessly forward, afraid that slowing down would mean confronting the emptiness she carried inside. Now, somehow, finding the father she never knew had filled a void she'd stopped acknowledging. "One day at a time sounds perfect," she said. 1 year later, Bennett Enterprises launched a groundbreaking new division focused on accessible housing solutions for single-parent families, combining Sophia's business acumen with Michael's architectural expertise. The project, deeply personal to them both, received national attention for its innovative approach to a critical social need. At the gala celebrating the launch, Sophia stood at the podium, looking out at the assembled crowd. In the front row sat Michael, Emma, and Lily, her family, once fractured by circumstance, now whole in ways she'd never imagined possible. 20 years ago, when I founded this company, I believed success meant proving my worth to a world that had often told me I had none, she began. Today, I understand that true success isn't measured in achievements or accolades, but in connections, the bridges we build to others and the walls we tear down within ourselves. Her eyes met Michael's, and she smiled. Sometimes the most important journeys aren't about moving forward, but about coming home to truths we've always carried within us. For me, that truth is simple: family isn't defined by perfect timing or perfect circumstances. It's defined by love that persists despite time and distance, by forgiveness that heals what once seemed broken beyond repair. As applause filled the room, Sophia touched the silver bracelet on her wrist, a compass pointing not to magnetic north, but to the true direction of her heart. In finding her father, Sophia Bennett hadn't just discovered a missing piece of her past. She'd opened herself to a future richer than she'd ever allowed herself to imagine, one built not on ambition alone, but on the foundation of connection, vulnerability, and the courage to believe that even the most unlikely reunions can lead to the most beautiful beginnings. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more content that reminds us of the unexpected ways our lives can change when we open ourselves to second chances and new beginnings.